What is our second main topic today?
Adi Dobrea says, hello from Romania, John and crew. Oh, wow. I am a huge Christopher Nolan fan. Inception changed my life, and Tenet changed it again. So when I saw that we have the first picture with Chilian Murphy as Oppenheimer, I got excited. What do you think about this picture, and what do you expect from this movie?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that, Dan. And listen, we all got pretty excited when we found out, well, number one, that Christopher Nolan was getting ready to embark on his new project, whatever it was going to be. Then we got excited again when we found out it was Oppenheimer. Story about the guy who helped develop the atomic bomb, and then, you know, his struggles with the government at that point. It was like, this is a fascinating topic, a little bit outside of Nolan's normal wheelhouse, which is also exciting. But then we got excited again when we found out Murphy was going to be playing the lead role. And yeah, first image got released. And look, it's a still image, means nothing. This could be the best or the worst movie ever made, and this one image doesn't tell us that. I got a little bit of Smoking Man vibes from the X-Files when I looked at it a bit there, but I don't care. There's something about the way he slimmed his face out there. There's like a coldness in the eyes as well. It screams the era. It just looks really good to me. Anyway, this comes just from the folks at the Hollywood Reporter, who said the following. Cillian Murphy is playing one of the fathers of the atomic bomb in the first look at Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan's biopic of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the Universal feature, which has started production in New Mexico, has also added, listen to this cast, guys.
Wow.
Has also added Kenneth Branagh to the call sheet, along with actor Michael Angarano, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. The star-studded cast also includes Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Rami Malek, Benny Safdie, Josh Hartnett, Dane DeHaan, I love Dane DeHaan, Jack Quaid, who's becoming bigger and bigger all the time, Matthew Modine, Alden Ehrenreich, Solo, Han Solo is back, Alden Ehrenreich, and David, gonna mispronounce his last name, Krumholtz. Murphy will portray Oppenheimer, one of the fathers of the atomic bomb during the Second World War, who later found his loyalty to the United States questioned by hawkish government officials. This is the kind of movie that I'm a sucker for, these types of stories. What was the one with Bryan Cranston where he was the screenwriter who got blacklisted?
Oh, yeah, that was...
And
it was his name. It was his last name.
Yeah. And I can't remember now.
Oh God, it's on the
tip
of
of
my
tongue. But
tongue.
these kinds of things. Also, the recent
Trumbo.
Dalton Trumbo. Yeah.
Also, the recent Meet the Ricardos kind of had a little bit of this in it too. I love these kinds of stories with one of the most ridiculous. This and Don't Look Up. The casts like just ridiculously high caliber cast. The image looks great. I'm getting more and more excited about this. Anyway, Aaron, you had a chance to see the image. What do you think right now about the project as a whole, the cast, the picture we're seeing? How are you feeling about this?
Well, first of all, Cillian Murphy, excuse me for butchering his name earlier. Cillian Murphy, ever since he was Scarecrow, he has He has struck fear through my body with a simple look. And in the same way that Sharp Objects was probably the best interpretation or portrayal of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, I believe that his portrayal of PTSD in the character of Tommy Shelby on Peaky Blinders is probably the best portrayal of what PTSD actually is, and the many, many ups and downs that people experiencing PTSD for whatever reason. I mean, it was so incredible, his performance. He's never done a project that I haven't been completely blown away by. He has excellent taste in his projects, and he's always brilliant in everything that he does. This, to me, is already screaming Oscar campaign. I mean, there's no way that it's not going to be one of the front runners. If this does not, I'm saying this, and you know that my big thing is always story. It's never about who's in the cast. But already what I'm hearing from all of this, I cannot imagine that it's not going to be something that we're going to be talking about when we talk about Best Picture for 2023.
Yep.
Look, even in some of his problematic stuff, like let's look at Tenet for a second. story and script is never the weakness. Sometimes he goes a little bit too, but like Nolan always delivers either himself or the people he's working with. Story is always cornerstone.
Yeah.
And when you look at casts like this, you realize, well, yeah, of course these guys want to work with Christopher Nolan, but they all took a look at the script and everything first. And they were like, yeah. And of course, Murphy has worked with Nolan before, obviously in Batman Begins. He was in another one of the Batman films. He was in Dunkirk. I think he appeared in one other too. So he's become one of Nolan's regulars. So this is really exciting.
Also to that point, when you talk about the people who go, oh, I want to work with Christopher Nolan, there's a lot of big names in this.
Yeah.
Any one of them would have been like, well, if I'm going to do a Christopher Nolan film, I want to star in it.
Yeah.
And none of them are the star. Cillian Murphy's the star. So for them to say
that says a lot.
That says a lot. And there's no way that all of these mega stars are going to be leads in the movie. Some of them probably only have a scene or two and they're coming in and so that also tells me that this is a project that people go, you know what? I don't care if I'm the star. I just want to be involved in that project. And that tells you something.
You know, I just want to say that a lot of people are asking if you think this movie is going to be in black and white, which I don't.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even consider that. Well, look,
because the poster that they released is black. One of them is black and white.
Yeah, one's in black and white. One is in color. The still image is in black and white. I'm going to guess that if the movie was, and I'm just guessing here because I think that's a great question to ask. My guess is if the poster is in color, the movie will be in color. That's my guess. But I totally understand. But what a great image, though. Yeah, since the picture is black and white, that's a good question to ask.
And I do want to see Nolan. It's as horrible as the thing it was. The bomb actually. How he does it on screen is going to be
crazy.
Oh yeah, it's going to be powerful.
Well, that's what I was going to say because he's shooting in New Mexico, and I don't
think he's that
I am willing to bet somebody in his
practical
office
effects.
They looked into detonating an atomic bomb, nuclear
practical
because
effects.
after all, the first atomic bomb, it's the megaton is just small. I mean, hey, you got an old piece of arsenal, whatever. You can. I am willing to bet you they've looked into that. They've talked about it. Christopher Nolan's like, why not?
Well, you don't have to shoot the movie there to do that.
I'm going to shoot it in IMAX with IMAX cameras.
Yeah.
By the way, we've seen the same nuclear footage of bombs going off, the same battleships, the same. I think it's about time we had newly minted photography of an actual atomic bomb going off and shoot it with IMAX cameras from every direction. Why not? It's a small bomb after all.
It's very small. But
did you guys see the series, The Manhattan Project? That was all about the lives of the people. That was it's a fascinating story. The fact that no one even knew what they were there to work on except for like a few people. Like the wives didn't know, the other people, it was an entire town that was built. And this is a real story. This actually happened in our history.
Did you see the new Twin Peaks?
No.
I think it was episode 8 that has an atomic bomb in it. One of the greatest hours of television I've ever seen. But that was a good atomic bomb explosion.
Well, let me get to you here now about first of all the image at all, what your expectations are for the movie, the cast list. What are you thinking?
Well, I think this movie's good. Look at the last historical epic he made, Dunkirk. That was amazing.
I love
Dunkirk.
The sound design in that was crazy. When
incredible.
The bomb
Incredible. Dunkirk.
Yeah, I'm so glad that the sound design people got to actually be acknowledged for their hard work during the. Oh, I'm sorry.
They're going to be acknowledged.
Touche.
I'm a petty bitch.
Oh, wow.
Go on forever, man.
All right, back to you, Rob. Sorry.
I'm looking quite forward to it. No, I think it's going to be a great film. And by the way, how great is it that Christopher Nolan's one of the only directors in Hollywood that can mount this kind of a project at the studio level with this kind of a cast?
Well, you're right about that because there's not many directors who can go to a studio today, propose this kind of a movie, and have the studio say, okay. But you're right now, Christopher Nolan found himself in a similar situation to James Gunn. Like when James Gunn found himself involuntarily divorced from Disney, every studio lined up and they all gave him pitches. And ultimately Warner Brothers won that. When Christopher Nolan had decided I've had enough of Warner Brothers and he said, I'm a free agent, everybody lined up. This is how big this bidding war was. Netflix, who have never done a theatrical exclusive release of one of their original movies, they put that on the table for Christopher Nolan. They told Nolan, you make a movie with us, you'll get your full exclusive theatrical release, and then we'll put it on Netflix 3 months later, or however long later, right? That's how big of a bidding war it was. Somehow, some way, Universal ended up winning it. Now we're getting Oppenheimer.
I just love the fact that if I were to walk into Warner Brothers and I got a pitch meeting and I said, I want to make a movie about Robert Oppenheimer and what the United States government did to him, I would be laughed out of the room.
Well,
You know what? I don't like that confidence level that's happening right here. We're going to have a talk after this.
well, that's more of a commentary on Warner Brothers than it is Rob's.
I was being a pragmatist. I think I could actually pitch the hell out of that story where they
I'm
might
sure you
consider.
I think that they would jump at the chance to work with you, Robert Meyer Burnett.
I don't think they'd be smart enough to jump at the chance to work with Robert Meyer Burnett. But anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think of this? You had a chance to see the image. You've seen the cast list. We're seeing this movie starting to come together. How are you feeling about it? Maybe it's not your cup of tea. It's not your kind of movie. Maybe you're thrilled and you can't wait to see it. Whatever you guys are feeling, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.